Presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Black Hawk. We are Minnesota.
Rain this morning, but the skies have cleared. A beautiful afternoon for baseball at Target Field as the Twins hope to end a short losing streak at 3 games. And welcome to Target Field. Dick Bramer along with Roy Smalley filling in for Bert Blyleven, who's in Cooperstown, New York for a Hall of Fame function. You know, over the last few years, the Twins have been looking to find a home for Trevor Plouffe. He's tried a number of different positions. I don't know that anyone thought that home for him would be third base.
It is now third base, and after trying shortstop and second base and right field, at third base, he has really settled in, and maybe it's the third base, and maybe it's just the fact that he has gotten a chance to play every day. He comes to the ballpark knowing he's going to be in there, and that great life is in his bat is starting to show up. What a homestand he has had, a .464 average with 7 home runs in 7 games and 12 RBIs, one of the most amazing streaks I have ever seen.
An example of a Twins player given a second, third, maybe even a fourth chance and taking advantage of it. The Twins today are going to give their starting pitcher Liam Hendriks a second chance. He made the team out of spring training. Didn't fare too well. The Twins are hoping that they'll see the Liam Hendriks they saw in March, not the one they saw in April.
And he went back down to AAA to learn how to throw his fastball. Again, you know, you can pitch off the fastball by throwing your breaking ball, but you got to throw a fastball to pitch off of it, and that's what he was not doing when he was up here before. As you can see, he went down to AAA, reestablished in his own mind that he could throw fastballs and get ahead and then go to his breaking ball, which is very good. If he pitches that way up here, I think he'll be successful.
Disappointing ball game for the Twins last night, losing in the late innings to the Brewers. They'll hope to snap that losing streak here this afternoon. When we come back, we'll learn more about Hope Week and Carl Pavano's role in it. Sports North is brought to you by your local Northland Ford dealers. Visit your local Northland Ford dealer or go to northlandford.com. By Menards. Save big money on all your home improvement needs at Menards. And by Budweiser, official beer of the thirst inning. Great times are on deck. Grab some Buds.
The sun is shining at Target Field. A beautiful afternoon for the Twins as they continue interleague play. Game 2 against the Brewers is this afternoon. Back at Target Field, I'm Marnie Gellner. This is the 7th consecutive day where the Twins have hosted different events, all to give back to the community. They call it Hope Week, and it's the Twins showing their appreciation and trying to raise some money, donate some funds as part of Hope Week. Carl Pavano was supposed to take some kids fishing on Thursday, but the rain changed those plans, so he brought these underprivileged kids indoors. They're part of the program from Ticks for Tots, which provides tickets to sporting events and plays and concerts to kids that normally wouldn't have access to that. But the kids each got walleye hats, and thanks to Gander Mountain, each one of them left with a brand new rod and reel. Hope Week has been a phenomenal success for the Twins. We hope for the same from Liam Hendricks this afternoon. He'll get the ball next.
Defined as the science of the composition, properties, and reactions of matter. In sports, it is a tangible asset. When the variables of a sports rivalry collide in just the right way, a heated conflict can be created. For Minnesota and Wisconsin, the components of their border battle consist of many factors. It is a rivalry whose chemistry contains not just two teams, but two states. From the gridiron to the ice, from the hardwood to the diamond, fanatic fans are the combustible element. It's time to put the chemistry to the test. Twins, Brewers, next on Fox Sports North.
And yeah, it looks like it's going to be a beautiful afternoon for baseball, with Ryan Doumit going behind the plate, catching for the Twins today. Ron Renick's going to the All-Star game this year as one of Tony La Russa's coaches, and he's seen his team be decimated because of injury, but he's put out this Menards batting order for Game 2. Nurichika Aoki leading things off. Niger Morgan batting second. Ryan Braun, Aramis Ramirez, George Gutaris, Ricky Weeks, Taylor Green, Cody Ransom, and Martin Maldonado.
And facing that lineup for the Twins today, Liam Hendriks just called back from AAA to get this start today. Very successful down in AAA in his rehab assignment, not physically but strategically. And we'll see if he can take what he learned down there, what he refreshed down there, and bring it back up here to the big leagues.
Well, the Twins, who won the first game in the Philadelphia series and saw the Phillies win the last 2 games, losing a tough ball game last night. And strike 1 now to Aoki. Aoki, Morgan, and Braun to get things started here this afternoon. 1-1. Hendriks sent down to AAA, was pitching well down there, was left down there for another couple of weeks for a little more seasoning, as they say. Left to marinate, if you will, at AAA before his recall here, and the hope is that the Twins will get from him what they got from Scott Diamond, someone who can take his AAA success and bring it to the bigs. 1-2 to Aoki. Turned him away, 2-2.
And if I were Liam Hendriks, the first thing that I would have done when I got to the big leagues is go right to Scott Diamond and said, what are you doing? Are you doing anything differently than what made you successful back down there in AAA? And Diamond would have said, no, I'm throwing strikes.
And that's flipped into center field just out of Hendriks' reach, and a leadoff single for Aoki. Northland Ford defense for the Twins. Different look from last night. Josh Willingham's the designated hitter. Darren Mastroianni, the left fielder. Span and Revere join him in the outfield. Plouffe, Dozier, Carroll, and Morneau as infielders, and Ryan Doumit behind the plate. Again, Joe Mauer not in the lineup today. A little bit of a tight hamstring. They hope that one day off will allow him to rejoin the lineup tomorrow. Here is Nyjer Morgan. And for Morgan, he takes strike 1, and as Vin Scully would say, deuces are wild with Nyjer Morgan. He's hitting .222. He's hit 2 home runs. He's driven in 2 runs. He went 135 at bats this year without a run batted in. That is almost impossible to do. This one lifted to left. Mastroianni comes in a couple of steps, 1 down.
The GMC keys of the game for that young man, Liam Hendriks, on the mound today. Pretty basic. Command the fastball, establish that first, show hitters you can throw a strike, and you can be around the edges of the zone with a fastball, and then you can go to that good breaking ball that you have. Liam Hendriks likes to pitch backwards. He did it a lot when he was up here at the beginning of the year, and by that I mean throw breaking balls and fastball counts. But in order to do that, in order to pitch off the fastball, you have to throw some fastballs. You have to convince guys that you're going to throw your fastball, whatever it is.
And ultimately, isn't that what cost Francisco Liriano his 6th inning last night? The inability for him to command the fastball, and he ended up giving up a 3-run home run on a slider.
That's exactly right. He threw 2 great pitches to this young man right here. Ryan Braun, a great slider, great changeup. And without showing him the fastball, he tried to throw another slider, and Braun tattooed it.
1-0 to Braun.
You know, there's a great, if you think about what the old timers, the changeup used to be called a change of pace. And it was a change of pace off the fastball. If you don't throw a fastball for the pace, you can't change the pace.
That's a pretty good way of putting it. You're not changing up anything if you haven't thrown your fastball at 93 or 94. 2-0 now, Hendriks to Braun. Well, the numbers weren't good for Hendriks. He literally opened eyes in spring training with one very good outing after another. Up and away, close pitch taken for ball 3. Braun up there now with a 3-0 count. And Aramis Ramirez on deck.
Wow.
Very close pitch again, and 4 wide. Puts runners now at first and second with one out. In today's game, we're participating in the Home Run Challenge. Every home run in this game raises $16,000 for prostate cancer research. After 9 days of the challenge, 102 home runs have been hit, raising $1,632,000. You can participate. Call in a pledge at 800-798-CURE or go online to www.pcf.org. Here's Ramirez in the dirt, blocked by Domet, 1-0. Brewers getting their first look at Hendricks. The Twins will be getting their first look at Hendricks' counterpart, Michael Fiers. One and 0 with the Brewers threatening here in the first inning. 6 straight wide of the zone. Control really wasn't Hendricks' undoing when he made the team out of spring training, at least in terms of the number of walks. He had problems commanding his fastball, but only 4 walks in 4 starts, covering 18 innings. 2-1.
Control is not a problem for him. He's going to be around the plate, and with a fastball about 90 miles an hour roughly most of the time on average, he has to throw the ball on the edges of the strike zone, and when he's not doing that, that's when he gets in trouble.
Swing and a foul, 2-2. Hendricks in his 18 innings of work got 3 ground ball double plays turned behind him. See if he can get one here off the bat of Ramirez. Runners go, and the pitch lifted foul, out of play. So with Aoki and Braun taking off, Ramirez flips one foul down the right field line. Renicky putting a play on here with 1 out in the first inning. Runners stay put, and it's a called third strike. Control the fastball. He looked to get the inside corner, and he nailed it.
Real good pitch, 2-2 after throwing a couple of breaking balls to Ramirez. You see it right here. Sets up on the inside corner, and Hendricks throws it right there. That's what he has to do to be successful, and that's got to be a big confidence boost to him right here, right there. And right here, if he can get out of this inning, he can take a big sigh of relief knowing that he's back throwing fastballs where he wants to, and he has a chance to be successful.
You say big sigh of relief. What I remember about Hendricks' first stint with the Twins this year was that marathon at bat he had with Adrian Gonzalez of the Red Sox, and he finally got him, and he literally had a deep sigh of relief as he came off the mound. The problem was that it seemed as if that at bat exhausted him or took him off his game, because the Red Sox knocked him out in the 6th inning, and he gave up 4 earned runs in 5 2/3 innings. He ran into trouble right after that. 1-0 to Kataris. And now a called strike, 1-1.
I remember that game very well too, Dick, and in addition to the big heaving sigh, sigh of relief that he showed coming off the mound, what I remember is that game being kind of the beginning of the end for him not pitching the way he needed to pitch up here. He was throwing a lot of breaking balls, trying to throw change up, change of pace off the change of pace type of stuff, and really seemed a little bit leery of throwing a fastball. And one thing that young pitchers have to learn is you have to throw fastballs up here, regardless of the speed. You have to find out whether your fastball is good enough to get guys off breaking stuff.
2-1, and a bouncer left side. Dozier Fires to second. Just barely got Braun at second base to end the inning. 21 pitches for Hendricks, 11 strikes in a scoreless first inning. Twins trying to rebound from last night's disappointing loss. Ron Gardenhire will send out this Menards batting order for game 2. Denard Span in his leadoff spot. Ben Revere in his second spot. Josh Willingham moves up to third. Justin Morneau back in the lineup hitting fourth. Ryan Doman, Trevor Plouffe, Brian Dozier, Darren Mastroianni, and then Jamie Carroll back in the lineup hitting ninth.
And that lineup will try to do it against this young man right here, Michael Fiers. Won his first game out, his first start, and has struggled his last two. Throws hard, has a little trouble with it. Strike zone, so we'll see if the Twins can have good quality at bats against him.
So an off-speed pitch that's over the inside corner. Strike one to Span. Hitless in the ball game last night. And that's on the outside corner. 0-2. One at 87, another one at 88. And Fiers back on the rubber after getting the return throw from the catcher, ready to pick up the pace here this afternoon. 1-2. Flip foul. Fiers making his major league debut back in late May against the Dodgers. 7 good innings, 5 hits, 1 run. He got the win, and he broke in the same game as his catcher, Martin Maldonado. And it's the first time in franchise history, and the Brewers have been there since 1970. First time that 2 battery mates made their major league debuts together. Another foul by Span.
And another example of why Denard Span is such a valuable leadoff hitter. I know there's been a lot of speculation out around Twins territory that why wouldn't Ben Revere, with all that speed, be a leadoff hitter? Denard is very accomplished at right from the start of the game, making the opposing pitcher throw a lot of pitches. Very, very valuable in a leadoff hitter.
Another 1-2 pitch. Bounce to short. Ransom is there. Span retired, 1 away. Northland Ford defense for the Brewers. Ryan Braun in left field. Niger Morgan in center. Aoki in right. Ramirez, Ransom, Weeks, Taylor Green getting first base today. And then Maldonado behind the plate. 1 down, that brings up Ben Revere. most of this homestand, the Twins lineup been very productive. But now here over the last 3 games, well, really only over the last 2 games, the middle of the lineup has had a tough time making contact. And then coincidentally, Span and Revere haven't been on the base as much. An example, I guess, of how quickly this game can turn on you. Twins scoring runs in bunches for most of the Cubs series, most of the Philly series, but now a bunch of guys struggling to get hits and have productive at bats. Backhanded by Ransom. Revere thrown out, 2 down. Today's broadcast is on AFN, the American Forces Network, broadcasting to the U.S. Armed Forces, serving in 175 countries and aboard ships at sea. Wherever you are around the world, Iraq, Germany, Italy, Southwest Asia, South Korea, Japan, wherever you are, welcome to Twins baseball, and thank you for your service to this country. 2 gone. Here's Josh Willingham. He's joined Ryan Doumit and some others and having a tough time making contact. And he takes inside, ball 1. Yet Willingham's average at 284, well above his career average. On a pace to hit 30-35 home runs. That would be a career high for him. Seems poised to drive in more than 100 runs. Again, a career high if it happens. 2-0. See what he gets and what he does with a 2-0 pitch. One hopper, bobbled. Ransom recovers. And a great scoop at first by Taylor Green. Now, first base umpire Larry Vanover is going to hear it from Jerry White and Josh Willingham, and Ron Gardenhire will pick up the argument. 2 guys with really good views of the play thought that Green's foot came off the bag. And they were right. Todd Tishner has the plate. Larry Vanover already involved in a controversial call at first base. Gorman did a great job behind the plate last night. Now, it's not the play like the play that involved one of the Welke brothers where the foot was a Todd Helton's foot, I think it was, a foot and a half off the bag. But it did appear as if Green's foot is off the bag when Willingham touches the bag. And Willingham, of course, looking straight down, could see it and immediately ran to the first base umpire. Jerry White discussed it with the umpire. Ron Gardenhire came out, and the 4 umpires consulted, but none of the other three saw overwhelming evidence that the foot was off the bag.
It would be very difficult for the other umpires to see it. It was clearly off the bag, but what's interesting about that to me is that the first base umpires are taught to, in making that play, look at the first base bag, watch when the runner's foot hits the base, relative to when they hear the sound of the ball hitting the first baseman's glove, and that's how they call the bang bang plays. If the sound of the ball in the glove and seeing the foot hit the base. Well, if you're watching Willingham's foot hit first base, you got to see the first baseman's foot. I mean,
your eyes should be right there.
They should be right there.
2-1 to Ricky Weeks, and now 2-2. Well, Hendricks hoping for a much quicker time of it in the second. Francisco Liriano last night had 5 shutout, no-hit innings, but his pitch count elevated to the point where he probably wasn't going to pitch beyond the 6th regardless of what happened. And a liner to left center field. Weeks with a sharp hit. Span quickly retrieves it, and the leadoff man is on again here in the second inning. Let's go to Marnie Gellner.
Dick, we're seeing a familiar sight for the Twins. Trevor Plouffe playing third base, but it's not his defense, it's his offense that's really been drawing rave reviews lately. 2 more home runs last night on his birthday. 7 in this 7-game homestand. I asked Trevor about what's been going on at the plate, and he just said, you know what, it's a pretty good wave. I plan to ride it as long as it lasts. And I asked him if he's ever been on a wave like this, and he said not one that's this high or been this good by any means. Ron Gartenhire said things are just clicking, and Dick and Roy, the word Gardy used to describe this is amazing for Plouffe.
Weeks will round second and advance to third with a hot ground ball glancing off of Carroll's glove. So first and third, nobody out here in the second. It has been amazing, and then you mix in his defense, which at the very least has been steady, and the Twins are getting a very productive third baseman.
Tough little hop there for Jamie Carroll. Potential double play ball he just couldn't come up with. The ball, a long hop that looked like it was going to bounce up and stayed down, and Jamie couldn't come up with it.
No ruling yet, and they will give Carroll an error. First and third, nobody out. Cody Ransom, the hitter. So the Brewers had a threat in the first inning. First and second, 1 out. Now they got first and third, nobody out. Ransom at the plate. He lifts one down the left field line. Deep but foul. 1 strike. Talked about it last night when the Brewers had Weeks, Hart, and then Ransom hitting in succession. 3 hitters that are whiffing an awful lot. Now, Hart isn't in the lineup today. Weeks is, but Ransom 104 at bats and 49 strikeouts this year. So in a situation like this, you'd like to think Hendricks would have a chance to strike out Ransom and then hope for the best with Maldonado on the on deck circle. 1-1.
Hendricks threw Ransom a changeup on the first pitch, which I always was suspect about, again, to the change of pace example. Ransom, I don't think has seen Hendricks ever, maybe in the minor leagues, but he doesn't really know what he has, and so a changeup is not really a changeup off of anything. Dangerous pitch to throw a guy changeup on the first pitch he sees from him.
Blocked by Doman, 2-1. And then last pitch on ball 1 to Ransom, he reacted as Doman caught the ball, and then again looking at his forearm, almost as if that ball he thought hit him in the arm. And a no call made by Todd Tishner. Here's ball 1. See if it hits his right arm. 2-1. High fastball and a foul. 2-2. As I mentioned last night, Ransom acquired on waivers from Arizona because the Brewers organizationally running out of shortstops. Gonzalez out for the year. Asturis has a bad hamstring. He's rehabbing. 2-2. Pulled foul.
Now I think in this at bat against Ransom, Hendricks has kind of established a fastball in the hitter's mind. He threw a fastball by him for the second strike. He came in with a fastball there that was pulled foul. So Ransom is now got around on that fastball. Now if he wants to go back to a breaking ball, at least he's shown him the fastball enough. If he could have thrown that pitch over or high enough to get Ransom to offer at it, I think he had him set up pretty well there. But you have to throw that fastball enough times to get the hitters in enough of a hurry that they'll be out in front of your slow stuff.
I don't know that Ron Gardenhire has seen a different version of Hendricks from what they saw in April. 33 pitches, just 18 strikes, and now a 3-2 count with second base open. And a called third strike, and Ransom frozen with the fastball, and Hendricks gets his strikeout.
Again, a real good spot as it turns out. Ball on the inside part of the plate, but I think that was a bit of a brain cramp by Ransom. I don't understand with 2 strikes after seeing just about every pitch Hendricks has. I don't understand the getting frozen on that particular fastball, but
2 strikeouts for Hendricks, both with fastballs.
Yeah, and I don't know. Maybe he was peeking back there and saw Doman go outside and the ball came in. I don't know.
Up the line and a squeeze play with Weeks staying at third base. A safety squeeze. Maldonado bunts it hard to Morneau, and Weeks never had a chance to scamper home.
And I think Ron Roenicke has the same look on his face that I do. I don't understand that play at all. This young man won the game last night with a long home run. He's got 2 guys on, a runner on third and 1 out, and he's going to bunt for a hit, or to your point, Dick, a safety squeeze. If I can put it in the right spot, Weeks can run home. But I think that's the last thing in the world that his manager wanted him to do.
We were talking when we were in Seattle about Brendan Ryan of the Mariners, and then the Twins did it too. Drew Butera did it. Surprised everybody by bunting with a runner at third, less than 2 out. In Ryan's case, and in Butera's case, and maybe now in Maldonado's case, assuming that the runner at third can anticipate that. But if you're at third and you don't expect that, how in the world can you get a good break?
I think that shocked everybody in the ballpark.
1-0 to Aoki. And it won't matter. A single to right that'll score 2. So Aoki with a big 2-out hit. And Hendricks gives up a pair in the second inning. Technically, Maldonado got credit for a sacrifice even before the single, and now in advancing Green, what might have been a 1-run single is instead a 2-run single. So now here's Nyjer Morgan.
We saw in the replay where that fastball was to Aoki, belt high or a little higher right down the middle of the plate. And again, there's 2 kinds of control. I mean, first of all, you have to be able to throw strikes. But to be an accomplished pitcher in the big leagues, you have to be able to command the strike zone, meaning throw the ball where you want to. And so far, Hendricks has thrown a lot of balls, and the strikes he's thrown, especially with the fastball, have not been, for the most part, not been where he wants to throw.
So 2-0 Milwaukee. Hendricks has faced 10 batters, 5 have reached. And outside. Aoki with 5 steals in 7 tries. Hit to center. Span retreats a few steps, and that ends the inning. The Brewers get a big 2-out hit, a single, and it's a 2-0 ball game. Burt to submit an email on why your sign should be circled on an upcoming home game and have a chance to visit us in the broadcast booth. We'll reveal 2 of the sections the morning before each game. One will be listed on FoxSportsNorth.com and the other on KFAN.com. Justin Morneau leads off the Twins second, taking strike 1. Mr. Blyleven, by the way, as we speak, I assume is locked into a intense pitcher's battle with Phil Niekro in a charity baseball game in Cooperstown. And as Burt tweeted, he's just glad he doesn't have to hit Niekro's knuckleball or try to. So I'm assuming they have a designated hitter in this game with featuring a cluster of Hall of Famers. 2 strikes to Morneau. And I'm telling you, I picked Morneau in the pick to stick. And everybody I picked in this homestand, it seems, strikes out 3 times in a game. Morneau goes down in his first at bat here today. July, don't miss the biggest event of the summer. Baseball's greatest stars battle for home field advantage in the Fall Classic. Road to the World Series begins with the 2012 MLB All-Star Game, Tuesday, July 10th, 6:30 Central on Fox. Last night I picked Ryan Domit. He struck out not 3 but 4 times.
Well, then why don't you pick somebody that's not in the lineup?
I was going to pick Alexi Casilla, who wasn't even in the starting lineup, just to break the streak.
That would be the team thing to do, I think.
1 strike to Domit as he watches a very slow breaking ball. 1-1. Domit has struck out 8 of his last 9 times. Just does not look comfortable at all at the plate. 1-2.
You can see the infield shifted way over around to the right for Domit. He's a pull hitter and trying to pull everything. That really is the 2-edged sword, if you will, for pull hitters. Guys that want to pull everything and hit to the pull field. Well, when they get in slumps, they're pulling off of everything, and that's what Ryan Domit has been doing. You can see right there that outside pitch, trying to pull it. Weak ground ball to first. And that really is the live by the sword, die by the sword. He's hit a lot of balls from the middle of the plate out that he hits to his pull field, hits him hard, but you can't make a living that way. There's a changeup on the outside corner, and you can see his front hip's already going to his pull side, and he's got nothing left with anything on the outside part of the plate, and that makes you so vulnerable.
Pretty soon the Trevor Plouffe shift will involve sending someone up into the grandstand section. 2 more home runs last night. A tremendous homestand with 7 home runs in the 7 games. 6 of them, though, solo home runs. Slow breaking ball up, and it's 2-0. Since the middle of May, over 22 games, 21 runs batted in, and 13 of his 14 home runs.
And look at the bottom line there. Raises average over 100 points. I really think that's the key statistic, and the batting average coming up, I think, is why he's hitting the home runs that he's hitting, or the home runs are a result of this batting average come up. You see down here, he was hitting 133, now 240. Now, granted, a lot of those hits that he raised it to 240 are home runs, but my point is that he has worked hard on staying through the ball, through the middle of the diamond, and it has allowed him to become more consistent. As he makes more consistent contact, then the life in his bat comes out in the form of home runs. But both of those things go together. He's not just a guy that's standing up on top of the plate trying to jerk the ball in the upper deck in left field. He's become a more accomplished hitter in terms of consistent contact over this stretch, and the result has been home runs.
And he'll need to do this too, take some walks, as he is all but pitched around here in this plate appearance.
But and you're right, Dick. He needs to get good balls to hit and not go outside of his zone to swing at those bad pitches. But the fact that he's not doing that, is, like in this at bat right here, is an indication that his mechanics and his approach to the plate are much better than they were before, because we have seen him chase balls outside the strike zone for the past year up until this streak, last year and the first part of this year. And the fact that he's not doing that now is another indication of how solid he's become at the plate.
Here's Brian Dozier. The Twins hope that his three-hit night last night will prove to be the turning point in his season, that he's bottomed out and will give the Twins some better at-bats. When you've been slumping for a couple of weeks, as Dozier has, it takes more than one game, I would imagine, to declare yourself out of a slump. But the Twins have been very patient with Dozier, even though he's visibly struggled at the plate and at times even in the field. They've continued to run him out there with the hope that he will fight his way through it, and then as a result of that be a much better, more seasoned ball player.
I think they have a pretty good idea of the mental and emotional makeup of this young man. I think he's a tough kid. I think they believe that he can handle adversity. Every young player, not every, almost all young players will go through stretches like this as they learn how to be consistent big league players. And even the slump, the last 0 for 14 that he had coming into a day or two ago, he was hitting some balls hard. He was showing flashes of not being totally overmatched. So really the question was, can he keep his head on his shoulders? And he has done that.
Lifted foul and out of play.
To your point, the 3 hits that he got last night doesn't declare that the slump is over or that he will never go into another one. But it's a great confidence boost for him to know that, hey, I can do it up here. I can come out about 0 for 14, get a base hit, then get 3 in the next game. I've been swinging the bat fairly well. I just have to keep working and keep working. As long as the young guys can understand that it's not about that stat up there on the scoreboard that had him hit 220 for a while. Don't fight that. Just fight the pitcher and keep working on your game.
2-2 to Dozier. Lifted to left in the ballpark, and Braun over a few steps to end the inning. On to the third with the Brewers up 2-0. 2-0. You can vote for the Arby's Value Player of the Game. Text the word value followed by a space and the player's name to short code 234-234. All Trevor Plouffe has done is walked, and he's already leading the balloting. Liam Hendriks has had 2 long innings with 39 pitches thrown. He'd like to make quick work of the Brewers here in the third.
And we've been talking about his approach out there and needing to throw more fastballs. That's what he went down to AAA to work on. Command that fastball. Tim Laudner's down in the camera well by the Twins dugout. Timmy, as a catcher, is it partly the catcher's responsibility to get out there and remind him what he's trying to do out there?
Well, you got to make sure that you stay on task. It might not always be on the mound. Roy might be in the dugout, but you know what? Like you said, he went down there to learn how to get his fastball over. That's his number one. That's the reason why he's pitching in this country. That's the reason why he's pitching in this league. That's his best pitch. You don't want to get beat on any of your other pitches.
Breaking ball over for a strike after missing with the fastball.
Well, Timmy, as a catcher, you know, when you're calling the game for a pitcher and you're watching him pitch, you know also as a hitter, you got to make the hitters think they're going to get some fastballs in order to make that breaking ball effective, right?
Absolutely. And so part of it is, Roy, is that, you know, and you've seen a lot of the signs from second base, you got to set them up. You got to figure out a way to set them up. Give them here, give it to them there. You know what? There's no law that says you can't throw 2 fastballs, 3 fastballs, even 4 fastballs in a row. Sometimes these hitters are looking for breaking pitches, and they tip it off when they do.
Inside, and it's 2-2. Hendriks might reach 90-91 miles per hour. Yet I think he's one of those guys who would be described as sneaky fast, which usually means that they do something to hide the ball from the hitter. Now, what does Hendriks do in his delivery?
He's a little bit of a short armor. He steps across his body a little bit, and which hides the ball. It makes the delivery of the pitch and where the batter is looking for the release point a little bit different than the normal pitcher. He short arms it a little bit, which means his arm stays bent behind his back a little bit longer. But also he comes at you all at once with body and arm, and that means right there a little bit sneaky. The ball gets on the hitters a little bit quicker than what a 90 or 91 mile an hour fastball would appear. You can see his delivery right here. As he steps, he throws it across his body, and then the short. This is what the batter sees. Across his body, you don't see his hand, then all of a sudden it comes out of nowhere, and that's a little bit sneakier.
And Braun flips another one foul. That fastball clocked at 91.
But see, there's a 91 mile an hour fastball that beat Ryan Braun inside, and what that says to me, and what, as Timmy and I were talking, what it says to a catcher is that he's protecting against the breaking ball. He is not jumping out there real aggressively trying to hit fastball, and that's what you want. You've got to get a guy worried about the fastball.
No swing on a breaking pitch in the dirt. Now it's a full count.
You work real hard to get a guy set up for a pitch. Then you got to be able to throw it for a strike when you get in there.
Full count to the leadoff man here in the third. Hendriks wanted a quicker third inning, and he's having a terrible time dealing with Braun in the opening plate appearance. Already 8 pitches in this plate appearance. Driven hard to right field. Revere going up, and it is gone. Into the flowers again. And an immediate recovery. Braun with a little bit of a smile for Trevor Plouffe. A great at bat for the Brewer left fielder, and a 3-0 lead.
Well, this young man just has some kind of talent. I have not seen too many big ends of bats get through a zone that fast. That is just powerful. And it's the bat speed that generates the power. He goes opposite field, up over the big wall.
Now a drive to deep left field, and that ball is gone. On the very next pitch, Ramirez goes deep, and it's 4-0. Just barely over the fence and left. So Hendricks, who gave up a 2-out RBI single, a 2-run single in the second, is greeted in the third with back-to-back solo home runs.
Went down and got something off speed again.
Strike on the outside corner. Fastball on the outside corner. Now a breaking pitch and a swing and a miss. With each home run hit, another $16,000 has been raised to support prostate cancer research. You can contribute, make a pledge at 800-798-CURE, or go online to www.pcf.org. For Ramirez, his 7th home run of the year. For Braun, his 18th. 1-2 to George Kataris. Might have cracked his bat. He'll go back and get another. 1-2. Alger and Ron Gardenhire with a chat in the Twins dugout. This is not what the Twins were hoping to see from Hendricks. Score aside, he just has had a very long afternoon. The Twins have gotten some incredibly short starts here late in this homestand. Breaking ball in the dirt, 2-2.
And I got to believe that this is not the way Liam Hendricks pitched in AAA when he won 5 games in 5 starts. Better hitters up here certainly, but I have to believe he did not have such a lack of command of the strike zone with his fastball as he's had today.
Kataris bounced to short to end the first inning when the Brewers had a threat but didn't score. They put 2 up in the second, 2 so far here in the third. And a swing and a miss. Kataris strikes out. 3rd strikeout for Hendricks, and that'll bring up Ricky Weeks. At every Twins game, businesses of all sizes host the employees and clients for a fun night of baseball. You can take advantage of all that Target Field has to offer your business group. The Minnesota Twins, an inexpensive and simple way to entertain in a setting your employees and clients will be sure to enjoy. You can organize your group of more than 25 today by calling 833-TWINS and ask about a Twins Target Field group outing. Here's Weeks lifting one foul, 1 strike. Weeks led off the second with a sharp single to left center. Then there was a fielder's choice and an error. A couple of outs, and Aoki cracked a 2-run single to start the scoring. And a called strike, 2 of them now to Ricky Weeks. Breaking ball. And Weeks almost bit, 1-2. Back to Hendricks. Weeks retired, out number 2. And that'll bring up Taylor Green.
Well, after giving up consecutive home runs, last 2 batters very, very well pitched up by Liam Hendricks. Located the fastball, showed him a breaking ball, got him out, Weeks out inside, jammed Weeks after showing him that breaking ball, then got in under his hands. Same way with Kataris, the batter before. He had fastballs on both sides of the zone, showed him a breaking ball, got him with a low fastball.
Outside, ball 1 to Taylor Green.
So I have to believe that that's what the way he was pitching down in AAA. He just hasn't been able to find that consistently today.
have been a changeup that floated over the outside corner. A strike. Driven to right. Revere over. Makes a nice running catch to end the inning. But the inning starts on back-to-back pitches. Back-to-back Milwaukee home runs. Sports North is brought to you by Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, for the everyday competitor in all of us. By CenturyLink, a different kind of communications company. CenturyLink, your link to what's next. And by Grand Casino, the best stories start here. Twins down 4-0 early, and Darren Mastroianni will lead off the third. It'll be Mastroianni, Carroll, and Span. Mastroianni taps one foul, 0-2. Twins don't have a hit yet against Michael Fiers. He did issue a 2-out walk to Trevor Plouffe. Foul back. Last night the Twins scored first. The Brewers had a brief lead. The game was tied until the ninth inning. Twins again trying to dig out of an early inning hole because of the ineffectiveness of their starting pitcher. Two strikes to Mastroianni, getting the start in left field for Josh Willingham. Overhand breaking ball missing. Give you some idea of where these two teams are with their starting pitchers. Fiers wearing number 64. Hendricks wearing number 62. Driven hard to the corner, and that's down for a hit. Into the corner, and an extra base hit for Mastroianni. The first Twins hit whistled into the corner for the Twins left fielder.
Good swing by Darren Mastroianni. He's got very strong hands. I was talking with Justin Morneau around the batting cage about that. Good, quick, short swing. You'll see it right here. Very compact, very simple. And he hugs the line just inside the line, the left field line. Good at bat, good swing.
And now Jamie Carroll. Tapper. Runner will advance, and fires to first. Mastroianni goes to third. Carroll done on one pitch. Here's an observation. You tell me if I'm all wet. but there sure seems to be more hitters like Mastroeni who don't do anything in terms of a stride with their lower half. You get a look at the fielding play there by Fiers. Span's another one. Span's entire swing, it seems, comes from the waist up. And players, of course, now lift weights and all that. When you first came up to the major leagues, players didn't do that. I can see the benefit of that if you're not striding into the ball. Is that true, or were there hitters as many? Here's Span with a liner to second. 2 down, and he's very quickly retired.
Here we see what you're talking about, Dick. He really just picks up his heel and puts it straight back down. And the reason hitters do that is so that it helps them keep their head still. We've talked about how Trevor Plouffe has improved so much and worked so hard at keeping his head still and over the center of his body during his swing. And that no stride approach can help you do that. It cuts down on power a little bit unless you're tremendously strong, because the weight shift is not quite as pronounced. But it's a good way to become more consistent. We saw the same thing from the catcher with the Phillies, Ruiz. And now there's a guy that's very, very strong in his core and his upper body, and he can generate a lot of power even without a stride. Most guys need a little stride and weight shift.
Here's Revere. A little bit of a leg kick for him, and he takes a ball 1-1. But are there more guys like that now than there used to be, or not?
You know, I think it's kind of scattered throughout different eras. I think guys have always done that. I think that I'm seeing more smaller guys do that than I've seen before. Bigger guys, I remember doing it a lot more.
Inside, and it's 2-1. It's a 4-0 ball game, and the Brewers started the scoring in the second when they got a big 2-out hit from their leadoff batter Aoki. And now the Twins down 4-0. Would love to get a 2-out hit here from Revere. And Revere to left center gets the hit. The Twins are on the board, and Revere will round first after a big RBI single. Mastroeni scores, and it's 4-1. So Mastroeni's double results in a Twins run.
Yeah, great swing and a real big at bat, a big run right here at this point in the ball game to get back within 3 runs here. 2-out hitting by Ben Revere. Good job. Fiers not happy. Thought he was going to get out of the inning. He knows that that's a big run too.
Here's Willingham, bounced to short his first time up. And Revere, even though the Twins are down by 3, would be a threat to steal here, you would think, with 2 out.
Absolutely. In the 3rd inning, I thought it was important that Jamie Carroll get the runner from 2nd to 3rd, play for the 1 run, get on the board. And now with 2 out, a stolen base would be a great play right here too.
In Willingham's case, really good chance that if he gets a hit, it'll be an extra base hit. He's got the 13 home runs and the 18 doubles. More than half his hits have been extra base hits. Down and away, 1-0.
You know, we've talked about what speed on the bases can do. Just the threat of Ben Revere going speeds up the pitcher's delivery and makes him do things that he doesn't normally do. Fiers is a big, tall guy. He has a tendency to be a little bit slower and more deliberate to the plate in his windup, and I'm sure that would be his preferred pace in the stretch as well if there's not a base stealer on. But now what you do when the guy can run, you make him go to a slide step or a quicker delivery, which is not his normal delivery.
Very tall pop. And Ramirez comes in from 3rd base to make the catch. That one hit about 10 times higher than it was forward. shot. We've got some special guests, some Circle Me Burt guests up here. Vince, Dylan, and Kevin, who not only get to watch a baseball game today, but they rode the North Star train in from Big Lake. So we're happy to have them here as the Circle Me Burt contestants. And the hopes that the Twins can come back from this 4-1 deficit and get a win for you folks. And the leadoff batter in the 4th inning is Cody Ransom, and he hits a big pop up near second base. And Dozier with the catch. One pitch, one away. Tonight on Baseball Night in America, interleague play returns. The Red Sox going to Wrigley Field to take on the Cubs. Boston looking to pick up some ground in the competitive American League East. Baseball Night in America, presented by Budweiser, begins tonight at 6 p.m. Central, only on Fox. All right, so if the American League East is competitive, we know they've got very good teams, and at least 2 teams, pretty good teams, are going to be on the outside looking in come playoff time. But if competitiveness in reality means the teams bunched together, it's not much more competitive than the American League Central is, where the Twins have struggled this year, to be sure. Yet they find themselves 8.5 games behind the White Sox, whose bullpen struggled last night, and they ended up losing it to the Dodgers. In terms of competitiveness, top to bottom, the American League Central is the second most competitive. Now, we're not talking about the quality of the 5 teams. We're talking about balance, parity, whatever word you want to use. There's an 8.5 game spread between the Twins on the bottom and the White Sox on top. Called strike, 2-2.
Which is absolutely not too much to overcome. When you look at this division, the Central Division, it's hard to imagine a lot changing that would make it less competitive in your definition. Good pitch there.
2 down in the 4th.
So again, that breaking ball strike set up by a couple of pretty good fastballs, and last 2 innings, Liam Hendricks has commanded a little bit better, commanded the zone a little bit better, and he needs to. In his first 3 innings, only 8 of 16 hitters did he go strike 1, and on those hitters where he didn't, where he fell behind, they were 3 for 7 and a walk. So if there's ever a time or ever an example of why you need to throw the ball over the plate, there it is. Fall behind, hitters 3 for 7.
Off-speed pitch off the plate, 2-0 to Aoki, who has 2 singles and a damaging 2-run, 2-out single in the 2nd inning. Tapper to the right side. Hendricks enjoys by far his best inning, a quick 1-2-3, top of the 4th. see Twins and Brewers fans sitting together peacefully. AT&T trivia question: who are the 3 Brewers to win an MVP award? Well, this is a toss-up here. I mean, this is a layup with Braun winning it last year. Then I think we're talking about one player winning at 2 different positions. And then I don't know this, I think we're talking about a relief pitcher. Here's Justin Morneau to lead off the 4th inning. Very slow breaking ball, 71 miles per hour. Now, if you've got Wisconsin plates and you're driving through Wisconsin, you won't get stopped. If you've got Minnesota plates and you go 71 miles per hour, you're going to be pulled over. That's the real rivalry. We can talk border battle all you want, but Minnesota drivers in Wisconsin. And you've been over, I know you've been over to the Wisconsin Dells.
Absolutely.
You've got to make sure you mind the speed limit, don't you?
I learned my lesson a long time ago.
2-0 to Morneau, and he drives one to Weeks and playing in short right field. So the shift pays off, and Morneau lines out, and a hit is taken away.
Justin sitting on fastball, getting one.
Did you, as it?
Ricky Weeks is way over here.
Did you,
any other time, unless they're having a rover playing out there?
Here's Doman, and he fouls it back as a right-handed hitter or left-handed hitter. Did you ever have a shift employed against you?
No, never.
You can see the shift again in place with Doman at the plate.
Yep, you can see the same rover status out there for Ricky Weeks.
Pitches up 1-1. So you were never considered that much of a pull hitter from either side of the plate that other teams shifted against you?
Not that much, and we're seeing it more than I think that we ever used to see it. What's interesting about the shifts that you'll notice, and the best example of what I'm going to talk about is Jim Thome, where you'll see a shift just like this for Thome, but the outfield is playing it absolutely straight away. And what the charts will show, and most hitters are like this, when they pull the ball, it will be on the ground. And when they hit the ball in the air, it could be the other way. They won't hit ground balls the other way, pull hitters, but they'll hit fly balls the other way. So you'll see a big shift in the infield, but the outfield playing relatively straight. You can see it right here. The center fielder, Nigel Morgan, not really that far to pull relative to the infield defense.
You know, where it really became evident to me was when Toronto came here in early May, and they shifted, the infield did, of all people, Joe Mauer. They swung around for Mauer, who has won 3 batting titles, and everyone thinks, well, he hits the ball to left field. But then I looked it up, and they had the third baseman playing about where Ramirez is playing now for Doman. Driven to the gap. Morgan won't get there, and the ball will go to the wall, and Doman goes to second with a double. 2 balls very well hit here in the 4th inning. So Doman has made contact twice, and second time up he hits it with authority for an extra base hit.
And if you watch the pitch again, nothing much has changed. On the outside part of the plate, he's still trying to pull it, but he stayed on it longer. His front side stayed on. It's such a tiny line, a fine line. And his front side stayed through the ball just long enough for him to be able to hit the big end of the bat on the ball. That was a much better swing, even though it's definitely an approach set up to hit the ball to right field.
Well, now a man in scoring position for Plouffe, and as we've suggested, there haven't been many times when he's come up with men on base, at least when he's hit home runs. 6 of his 7 home runs in this homestand have been solo home runs. Just one follow-up to what we were saying before. When Toronto put the shift on for Mauer, it seems strange because he so much likes to hit the ball to the opposite field.
I thought it was smart, though. I really did.
And I looked it up. At that point in early May, he hadn't hit one ground ball to a third baseman yet. So the philosophy was, all right, fine, he gets his base hits to left field, but in terms of ground balls, if he's not going to hit a ground ball to a third baseman, why put a man there?
Well, that's absolutely right. And the most important part of that, I think, was the shortstop is right behind second. I mean, think about how many balls Joe hits up the middle. He hits a lot of ground balls up the middle. So I think a guy ought to play there. And if you're going to play the shortstop there, then you move the second baseman over, you move the third baseman over. I thought it was smart.
2-0 to Plouffe. He maybe has seen one strike today. At least he swung at a pitch. It was a breaking pitch down and away. He offered at it. And other than that, they are showing no interest at all in throwing him strikes. Fox Tracks brought to you by Window Concepts of Minnesota.
And this will be very interesting. If it were a closer game, I guarantee you he'd get the 3-0 green light.
Fastball at the knees. 3-1.
Actually, I don't mind that. I think that ball's low. I think it should have been ball 4, but I don't mind it. I'd like to see Trevor up there. 3-1. That's okay. Call that pitch on the lower part of the strike, limit the strike zone, but give Trevor another chance. He's looking fastball here. You got to get it right where you want it. Make sure it's a fastball and attack.
Good ball 4.
Good for him. Last night we saw him in a 3-1 pitch get a slider and hit a ground ball in the third, and he was shaking his head, kind of disgusted with himself and I guarantee it was because he was looking for a fastball and swung at a slider. He wasn't patient enough. There he took enough time to see what the pitch was. It wasn't what he wanted, and he accepted the walk. That's a mature at bat right there.
Here's Dozier hit a fly ball to left his first time up. Dozier jumped into the big leagues, hit a couple of quick home runs, and hasn't homered since. On the outside corner, a strike. Blocked nicely by Maldonado.
You know, Fiers today has not been anything that I would call extra special. He's throwing 88, 89, occasionally 90 miles an hour. But he's stayed away from the middle of the plate. He's thrown a lot of strikes with 3 different pitches. He's got a big curveball, and then he's throwing a lot of changeups, especially the left-hand hitters. He's just kind of worked up and back with speed and kept the ball out of the middle of the plate so far. Nothing special, but what you have to do.
1-1 to Dozier. Off the plate, 2-1. Fiers stake to an early 4-0 lead. The Twins came back with 1 in the third, and now hoping to chip away some more here in the fourth. Lifted foul, out of play. 2-2. In terms of hits, the Twins have a couple of doubles and a single. Plouffe has walked twice. Got a pitch up and fouled it back. Mentioned that the Brewers, like the Twins, have had injuries to the pitching staff, and well, you hope you don't have too many of them. You certainly don't hope to have too many of them in a short period of time like the Blue Jays did, when in a span of 5 days they lost Brandon Morrow, Kyle Drabek, and Drew Hutchinson, all on the disabled list. Hutchinson going on yesterday with an elbow problem. 2-2 to Dozier. Bouncer left side. They'll get the force there, and the relay not in time. Dozier just barely beat it out. So first and third, 2 down for Mastroeni.
Pretty good turn by the Brewers. The ball was just hit a little bit too far to the right for Brian Dozier's speed. He gets down there pretty well. Good hustle. And he did beat the throw. keep the inning alive.
Here's Mastroianni. Twins got a 2-out hit from Revere to get a run. They're hoping to get another one now from Mastroianni. Down and away, ball 1. "65 pitches for Fiers, 39 strikes, 60% strike to ball ratio, or strike percentage, I guess." "2-0 with Maldonado holding it for a while. And it looks over his left shoulder. Maybe engaged in conversation with Tichenor.
It's been a little bit inconsistent back there today. I know some pitches have surprised us up here as we looked at them. Some look like same pitches, balls, and strikes at different times.
Now inside 3-0 with Carroll on deck.
This is Fiers' third 3-ball count this inning. Usually an inning like that, you really want to take advantage of a pitcher losing a little bit. Fiers has not pitched that way up until now. Now he's struggling with his command just a little bit.
And a strike. Mastroianni taking all the way.
Now Mastroianni wants to get that same pitch right there. Look for that same pitch right in the middle of the zone and put another good swing on. Another short, compact, simple swing. Drive the runner.
Dozier goes, and the pitch drilled to left, and Braun right there. So Mastroianni did put a good swing on it.
Yes,
hit it on a line to the left fielder, and the Twins strand 2 on the 4th. Turned into a good afternoon here at Target Field. Unfortunately, the Twins are down 4-1. Plenty of time to come back. Marty Gellner, Tim Laudner, Roy Smalley sitting in for Bert Blyleven, who is in Cooperstown, New York, for a Hall of Fame function. And we'll have to get from Bert the results of his big battle against Phil Niekro in the not the Hall of Fame game, but a game played at I believe Doubleday Field. 1-0 to the leadoff man, Nyjer Morgan, here in the Milwaukee fifth. Strike one.
Phil Niekro, one of the great guys in baseball.
Were you with him in New York?
Yep.
I know he spent some time with the Yankees.
Yep, a little bit.
Well, you played with both Niekro brothers, right? Then
right.
Joe went with we came back with the Twins. Bert tweeted moments ago. 3 innings, a 2-2 tie. That's not Delman Young, but Dimitri Young, who won the home run hitting title.
Is Bert pitching to him?
Yeah, and then bunted in front of Darrell Evans.
That is bad form.
Swing and a foul. Morgan strikes out with Doman hanging on. 1 away in the fifth. And Ryan Braun, part of the answer to our AT&T trivia question. He won the MVP award last year. Robin Yount won it at a couple of different positions. And yeah, Raleigh Fingers, in what was a labor interrupted season in 1981, but he was the league MVP as a relief pitcher. I'm just going from memory here. I think the only other times that happened, Willie Hernandez in '84, and then Eckersley in whatever year it was when he walked like 3 people all year and had an ERA of under 1.
I think that was '88 when they went to the World Series.
That's down the right field line, and 3 Twins chase it, and Carroll bobbles it in foul territory. Carroll got there, fighting the distance, 2 teammates in the sun, and he got it in the glove and it popped out.
Yeah, that's too bad. That looked like Jamie was going to make a terrific play. He had to go a long way, be concerned with the fence, fighting the sun, as you said, looking up right into it there. Just couldn't corral it.
Hitting the fingers of the glove, then the thumb, but never in the middle. So another swing for Ryan Braun, 1-1. Blasted to left center. And Braun makes the Twins pay. They didn't catch the foul pop. And Braun hits his 2nd home run of the game, his 3rd of the series. A 5-1 Brewer lead.
This young man can really hit, and I got to tell you, at some point in time, I got to make him hit a fast. Show me he can hit a fastball too. I know he can, but he's hit a lot of cookie breaking balls right in the middle of the plate, and at some point in time, I got to pound him inside and get him off the breaking stuff.
That hits the bag. In the 3rd inning, Ramirez backed up Braun's home run with one of his own. Here, a hot ground ball that hits the 3rd base bag, and it's a single with 1 out in the 5th. And a trip to the mound by Doman. He'll talk with Hendricks. Mastroianni actually does a nice job closing in on this ball and holding Ramirez to a single.
Sure does. That's almost always a double. The ball hits a bag and jumps up in the air like that. Mastroianni does a really nice job.
When we were talking about the competitiveness in the American League Central and the distance top to bottom, just 8.5 games. With the home run hit by Ryan Braun, another $16,000 has been raised to support prostate cancer research. Your pledge will be received at 800-798-CURE or www.pcf.org. Here's Kataris, and Morneau will get the lead runner there. Return thrown out in time, 2 down. When we were talking about the lack of a dominant team right now in the American League Central, it suggests that the team just 8.5 games out still has a chance. And while that is true for the Twins, it's predicated on the starting pitching being a lot better. And that is such a big if. It's not just the I, but the F also is capitalized. I mean, that's a big, big deal for the Twins, because that's the biggest reason they are where they are.
There's no question. And Bert, your everyday partner up here has said it a number of times, and you're both right. It's the starting pitching is going to have to be an awful lot better than it has been through the first 63 or 4 or 5 games however many we played.
So the onus falls on Liriano and Blackburn, the veterans, less so on Diamond and Hendricks and whoever's going to be the 5th guy now with P.J. Walters on the disabled list. By the way, Cole DeVries last night pitched 7 shutout innings for Rochester. So as the Twins are looking forward to the road trip and needing a 5th starter, I would think he moved to the head of the list with his performance last night.
Yeah, we talked about that a little bit last night. Of course, we think about Dunston coming in and becoming a starter, but they like him. Ricky Weeks bangs another single in the left field, but they really do like the bullpen the way it is, and they don't want to break up a successful bullpen. It's one of the best things that they're doing right now, and so I think you're right. I think Cole DeVries has to be considered for sure as a potential starter, maybe the front runner to be the 5th starter. But I have to tell you, as Rick Anderson, pitching coach Rick Anderson, comes out for a quick trip to the mound, I think give the Twins pitcher in the bullpen just a little bit more time. Anthony Suarez, I give him a little bit more time to get ready. I don't think that there is now a veteran presence on the mound that any more than Scott Diamond that the Twins are going to be leaning on. I think Scott Diamond is. I mean, if Scott Diamond's not Scott Diamond here, the rest of what he's been so far, the rest of the year, they're going to be they're going to be in deep trouble as well. So I think the pitchers that they have are the good pitchers that are going to have to. Everybody, each one of them, going to step up and be better than they've been.
If healthy, Carl Pavano would be that guy. Had a brief chat with Carl today. He's getting ready to start a throwing program soon, but at best he's weeks away from taking his turn in the rotation. 1-0 to Taylor Green. An error was charged to Jamie Carroll on that pop-up, and on the next pitch, Braun hit the home run. So 2 Twins errors here.
Wow, that's a tough error.
And both of them to Carroll.
That's a tough error on a ball you run that far.
Foul back, 1-2. Green reached on the first Carroll error. Technically, he reached on a fielder's choice, but no out was recorded. The assumption apparently was Carroll would go to second base and get a force at second if he had fielded the ball cleanly. 1-2. 91st pitch of the day for Liam Hendricks. And a bouncer to second. Carroll has it over to Morneau, and that ends the inning. Braun with his second home run of the ballgame, a solo home run, and it's 5-1 Milwaukee.
Norman Holter from Cohasset, Minnesota, up near Grand Rapids, celebrating their 60th wedding anniversary. The big day was actually yesterday. You two told me you're at Target Field for the very first time. You're getting $100 worth of scratch-off tickets from the Minnesota Lottery. Congratulations, and more importantly, congratulations on 60 years.
Thank you.
Have they been good years?
They've been wonderful years.
Give me the key.
Wish I could. I don't know what the key is to communicate.
To communicate. I'm going to write that down. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend and enjoy your afternoon at Target Field.
Thank you.
Dick and Roy, 60 years. 6-0 for this couple.
Pretty impressive.
Yeah, congratulations. That's terrific.
Cohasset up there on the shores of Bass Lake, just outside of Grand Rapids, south and east of Deer River. Cody Ransom, or excuse me, Jamie Carroll leading off the fifth for the Twins. Twins down by 4, need to get something going here of substance against Michael Fiers. Fouled away. And it's 2-2. Carroll came up after Mastroianni's leadoff double in the third. And on the next pitch, hit a little squibber between the mound and third base. Fiers fielded it, threw him out. Mastroianni went to third and then later scored on Revere's single. And outside corner breaking ball, gets a called third strike. One down in the fifth. You can ask a question online at carsoup.com/baseball. Ron Parker from Long Prairie, Minnesota, wondering if the Twins end up being mid-season sellers. Do you think there'll be a lot of interest in Matt Capps?
I think there's a chance that that the Twins will field inquiries. That's a good bunt right there. If you can get by the pitcher, he couldn't do it.
And both the home plate umpire and the first base umpire have called Span out. Great reaction by Fiers coming off the mound and fielding the ball. It didn't look like it was a bad bunt when it left home plate.
No, you're right. When it left home plate, I thought it was going to be a base hit. Fiers does a real nice job, but he also got under it and kind of got a little golf backspin. The ball backed up on him a little bit. That is, backed up on Denard. One more hop forward. If he'd gotten over the top of the ball and the ball had rolled and overspin forward, the pitcher would not have been able to get it, and Denard would have had a base hit. But the ball kind of backed up on him. He hit a little backspin chip shot, and it stayed there for the pitcher to get. But you're right. Fiers has made two very agile plays off the mound today for a big guy.
Down and away, I'll just say it in Bert's absence. Pitchers are the best athletes on the team, so we should not be surprised.
You did notice the slight bit of surprise in my voice as I relayed that information.
Revere threatens to bunt, takes a strike, 1-1.
One thing about Fiers today against the Twins hitters is very interesting to me. He's only throwing 87, 88, 89 miles an hour with his fastball, but the Twins just never have seemed real comfortable with the speed of it. It may be because of that pitch right there, that slow curveball that he has put in their minds, and the changeup that he's been throwing. But for an 87, 88, 89 mile an hour fastball, you just don't see any real good aggressive hacks at it. And there's something that he's doing, like that one there. Something he's doing. It's a little different. It's got the Twins off pace just a little bit.
He's got a 1-2-3 fifth as we go to the sixth. 5-1 Milwaukee.
The Brewers coverage begins at 12:30, and the weather is looking to cooperate. Plenty of sunshine returning. Not quite as warm, not as humid, but still a very pleasant day, up to 77 degrees for the first pitch temperature under sunny skies.
Gorgeous day, 80 degrees, humid, we'll take that. Wind southwest 9 miles per hour, we'll take that. 80% chance of rain we could do without, but so far so good. They've been circled not by Bert, but by Roy Smalley, who's filling in for Bert this weekend. Bert in high demand now, and he's in Cooperstown this weekend. Will rejoin the TV booth Tuesday in Pittsburgh. Anthony Swarzak comes in to pitch now for the Twins.
And Anthony could use a real good outing right here. Hold the Brewers, not only on the Twins' behalf, but on his own behalf. I think this is this could be an important stretch for Anthony Swarzak. His role as kind of a long reliever and spot starter, he's not been real sharp of late, and this would be a great time for him to kind of get it back, hold the Brewers at no runs right here, and give the Twins that one number to shoot at the rest of the game.
First pitch hammered to left. Gone. The fourth solo home run for the Brewers, and they lead it 6-1. So welcome to the ball game. Braun with 2 solo home runs, Ramirez with 1, and now Ransom tees off on Swarzak.
Well, not the best way to start, and we were talking fastball middle. That's about as middle as it gets.
Ransom hitting his first for the Brewers. Chopped foul. Ramirez with 10 other Major League home runs. With that home run hit by Cody Ransom, another $16,000 has been raised to support prostate cancer research. To make a donation, call 800-798-CURE or go online to www.pcf.org. Dozier to his left, scoops it up. Maldonado retired, 1 away. Maldonado getting a chance to catch, as we've mentioned, because Jonathan Lucroy, who had a great season going and hopes to resume that season after the All-Star break with a broken right hand. He had surgery on the hand, and you see his numbers that he put together on the season. One of those freak baseball injuries that happened in a hotel room when a suitcase fell on his hand. Down and in, ball 1.
I hate to see that. I hate to see a guy get off to a start like that and not be able to see if he can maintain it. He was really playing well for the Brewers. That's too bad.
Really, when we were in Milwaukee a month or so ago, the talk was, look, if he keeps this up, he's going to be going to the All-Star game, and who knows, with so much focus on the Brewers last year in the playoffs and everything, he might get enough votes to be voted in. 2-0. Now they hope to have him shortly after the All-Star break. 3-0 to Aoki. The team leader in innings pitched is Carl Pavano, but he's on the disabled list and he won't be pitching for a couple weeks. Next on the list is Francisco Liriano with 57 2/3 innings. This one nubbed in front of the plate. Domit has time, makes the play 2 down. Follow the Twins with MLB.com @BAT12 for your iPhone, iPad, Android, BlackBerry, or Windows Mobile. Get live audio, pitch tracking, video highlights, and much more. Text @BAT to 31826 or visit twinsbaseball.com. Liriano second on the team in innings pitched, then Scott Diamond with just over 50. Swarzak fourth on the team in innings pitched. He's only made 4 starts. Those have been shorter than normal starts, but it gives you yet another indication of the state of affairs in the Twins pitching staff when the long reliever is perhaps going to finish this homestand. Third on the staff in innings pitched.
That is a development that no team wants to have.
No.
No team. And the other part of what you were just saying that I think is remarkable, when they left spring training, if someone had said to you that Scott Diamond would be third in innings pitched at this point in the season, taking nothing away from Scott because he's been great. He belongs here clearly the way he's pitched. He belongs here in the big leagues. But coming out of spring training, you thought there was some trouble if he was going to be third in innings pitched at this stage.
Well, to put it another way, after today's game, the team's 64th game, the Twins won't have one pitcher who would even qualify among ERA leaders. You have to pitch one inning per team game played. So you would have to have, as a member of the Twins staff, 64 innings, and the Twins won't have anyone with that. There's a called third strike, and Morgan having a frustrating season and a frustrating day. Put another home run for the Brewers, and they lead it 6-1.
And it's Ryan Braun. Look at this extension. Ball down in the strike zone. He hits that ball about 400 feet to right center. And then a hanging breaking ball. This is a cookie. How far do you want to hit this one? Again, that same extension in the middle of just a lightning fast bat speed through the zone. That young man can really hit. In the Coors Light 6th inning, and we bring you the Frost Brewed Coors Light Freeze Can. 1-0 to Josh Willingham, and the lead continues to mount from Michael Fiers. Willingham, Morneau, and Domet, 3, 4, and 5 batters, will try to change that. Up high, and it's 2-0. There have been some threats. 2 of them. Twins took advantage of Mastroianni's leadoff double, scored a run in the 3rd. They could not take advantage of Domet's 1-out double in the 4th. Half swing and a called strike. Now, you mentioned there's something that Fiers is doing. We talked about Hendricks appeared to, for a while at least, be hiding the ball well. Numbers wouldn't suggest that he hit him well enough. But Fiers is an over-the-top guy, a right-handed version, say, of Scott Diamond. I mean, when he winds up, he drops the ball down behind his knee and then comes straight over the top. Could that have anything to do with it? Yeah, it might. I mean, I think there is something about his delivery that is messing with the Twins' pace just a little bit.
Off the end of the bat, and a roller to short. 1 down.
Usually a guy that's straight over the top, left-hand hitters like to see. They don't really have a big problem with it. It's really been the left-handers that I've been kind of surprised that they haven't had better at-bats.
Time now for the CenturyLink high-speed pitch. Hendricks at 92, Fiers a couple of ticks off of that. But but Fires has been in control of this game, and Hendricks was not.
And that's the main thing. He's thrown an awful lot of strikes and stayed away from the middle of the plate for the most part.
Morneau with a strikeout in the second, a line out to Weeks in short right field in the fourth.
You see Fires, a tall guy that gets way up above the balance point and comes straight over the top. Again, most of the time we've seen 87, 88 for a fastball. He throws a little slider, slow curveball that we saw the first pitch to Justin.
And Morneau strikes out for the second time.
And that's what I'm talking about right there. Justin is so far out in front of that curveball that you would think that Fires was throwing more like 94 instead of 88. And there's something going on that just has guys off.
Here's Doman, cracked a double his last time up.
One thing I will say with that 71, 72 mile-an-hour curveball, yeah, if you look at this range, this is exactly what I was going to say. That big a disparity between top speed and low speed can really mess with hitters. That's what you call back and forth, changing speeds back and forth. So on, harder, a little off, softer. But he uses his curveball, that curveball, almost like a changeup with big movement.
2-1 to Doman.
I have seen guys do that effectively this year. Yu Darvish is doing that. He's got 3 different breaking balls at 3 different speeds, and we've seen guys pitch very effectively in the big leagues this year, especially in the American League, using curveballs almost like changeups, where they throw it very, very slow.
Doman drives it to right, and Aoki comes in, makes the catch. 7-8 in a row, sent down by Michael. Milwaukee.
Ryan Braun with an absolute bomb to right field. Aramis Ramirez goes down and gets a low breaking ball, hits that in the seats. Ryan Braun comes back, gets a hanging breaking ball, puts a charge in that one into the bullpen. And then finally, Ransom hits a bullet off the facing of the second deck. The Brewers flexing their muscles today. It's been the home runs have been the story of the game.
Well, Braun, who hit 3 home runs in a game earlier this year at Petco Park, another park not known for yielding home runs in San Diego, and he's got a chance to do it here today with a leadoff at bat here in the 7th.
The thing about Ryan Braun is he's not hitting high fly balls in the first row. In this series, he's hit He's hit a ball in the bullpen. He's hit a ball over the center field fence, and he's hit a ball over the tall wall, scoreboard wall in right center. As a right-hand hitter, you don't see a lot of left-hand hitters going up there.
Right.
Ryan Braun went up there easily.
I think now 7 right-handed batters have hit opposite field home runs in the 2.5 years here. 1-1 to Braun.
Well, there haven't been too many that have gone over that scoreboard in right center. I mean, well, of the 7, I think maybe 5.
Miguel Cabrera.
As I remember very well.
Whistle to left. It's in the park, but it'll still go to the wall, not over it. Braun digging for second, and he's in with a leadoff double. Twins might have had the best idea in the first inning when they walked him.
Well, again, I just can't believe what's the velocity with which what's the big end of the bat? What's from there to there? Now that's slow motion, and it looks fast. I mean, in real speed, that big end of the bat, it gets through the strike zone so incredibly fast. That's the first thing I noticed. I had never really known a whole lot about Ryan Braun until he was in the All-Star game his first time, and he was in the home run hitting contest. I think it was in Yankee Stadium. I don't remember. It seemed to me like it was in Yankee Stadium. And I was watching the home run derby, and this young guy came up. And they were talking about this young guy from Milwaukee, and he started hitting. And I actually stood up on my couch to take a better look, because I don't think I've seen a big end whistle through the zone that fast ever, maybe.
This one lifted to deep right. Revere back near the track. Make the catch, and Braun will tag in advance. Well, you've got a chance to solve a riddle for me. Maybe it's just the way the phrases are worded. You hear about bat speed. Braun has that. Hitters want that. Bat speed, it generates power. But yet every once in a while you'll hear a hitting coach or a manager talk about a certain hitter, and his bat stays in the strike zone a long time. How can both of those be possible? You know what I'm saying?
I know exactly what you're saying, and it really is about the plane of the big end of the bat. And Joe Mauer's, if you imagine Joe Mauer's swing, the big end of the bat drops into the plane of the pitch early and stays back through the ball a long time. And so that's when they're saying it stays in the strike zone a long time. It's not a sweep. It's not an uppercut that comes into the zone and right back out real quickly. It's much flatter and more parallel to the plane that the pitch is coming on.
Okay. That helps a little bit. Braun seems to have both.
He has both. But watch right here in slow motion. Watch as the bat drops back. Now see how the bat dropped back behind by the catcher and then stayed through the ball through the zone before it came back out.
2-0. Infield in for the Twins, down by 5 runs. And now 3-0.
Now, Ryan Braun is not the classic example. He's a little bit in and then back out. But watch out how the bat drops in. Now, see where it is. It's in the zone right now. It stays through the ball before it ever comes back out again. And if you think about Tony Gwynn, he would be the classic example of a big end staying in the zone a long time. And Ryan Braun a little bit quicker in and out.
First and third. Weeks coming to the plate. The next Crystal Farm Kids Day is tomorrow when the Twins host the Brewers. You can get to the game early for Kids Day autographs. Free string cheese, courtesy of Crystal Farm. After the game, kids can run the bases on Target Field, presented by Gillette Children's Hospital. Tickets and more details available on Sunday's Crystal Farm Kids Day at twinsbaseball.com or call 800-33-TWINS. Weeks has singled twice and hit a comebacker to the mound. And I don't want to belabor the point, but they kind of looked like they were pitching around Kataris, believe it or not. Didn't give him much to hit in the hopes perhaps of striking out Weeks, who has not struck out yet today, but he has struck out 76 times on the season. More than a third of the time.
That's a good pitch right there. it might be Fox Tracks might show us that that's off the plate. But if you're going to throw a slider, that's exactly where you want to throw it, especially with one strike. That's a fine pitch. And as it turns out, it could have been called a strike.
Fox Tracks brought to you by Carrier. And now 1-2.
And that's a great pitch to follow up that slider with. So now he's seen a ball move away on the corner and a fastball run in on him. So Swarzak pitching Ricky Weeks very, very tough right now. See if he can finish it off.
There's a strikeout. 2 down. Well, there are certain times when I guess you can plan or play for your opponent's weakness.
Yeah,
right?
You see how he's gone out, in, back, out again. Very nicely done, and all of them down too. That's about as well as you can pitch right there. Big league hitter's going to have a hard time with that series of pitches.
Taylor Green takes ball 1.
Any hitter would have a hard time with that series of pitches, but even big league hitters will have trouble with if a big league pitcher's throwing them there.
Lifted foul, out of play, 1-1. Green scored in the second after reaching in a fielder's choice. Hit a liner to right and a ground ball to second. Brewers with 10 hits, Twins with just 3. Brewers have all 4 of the home runs. Check swing foul, and it's 2-2. Swarzak pounds his mid after pitching out of a jam, and he pitches around the leadoff double by Braun. Just $4.99 at McDonald's. And by AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T. Rethink possible. Sports North is brought to you by McDonald's. Right now, you can get 20 crispy chicken McNuggets for just $4.99 at McDonald's. And by AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T. Rethink possible. It is 6-1 Milwaukee. Twins trying to get back in this game. There's a very slow breaking ball. The slowest of the day, 68 miles per hour. It wasn't called for a strike. Trevor Plouffe hasn't had much to swing at. He hasn't had a strike thrown to him. He did swing at a pitch. There's the first one that's actually crossed the plate. He swung at a breaking ball before walking in the second. Then he walked on 4 pitches in the fourth. Two and one. If you can't throw it in the strike zone to get a hitter out, maybe the Twins are at that point with Ryan Braun, then you can try to tease them and throw them out of the strike zone and see if they'll chase. So far today, Plouffe hasn't done that. A little bit low, and it's 3-1.
Sometimes you can tell that a hitter is really feeling good at the plate just by the way he takes pitches, and that's the way what it appears to me with Trevor. He still seems locked in to me.
Just missed it. Yep. He got a pitch to hit and drive, and he's hit and driven a lot of them. That ball might have been lost for a while in the sun by Braun. He kind of held out his arms like, I don't see it. He found it and caught it just as Morgan was ready to bump into him.
Here's the last pitch to Trevor. High fastball. He just got under it. That's the pitch we were talking about. You see Ryan Braun telling Nigel Morgan, I don't see it. And then he saw it at the last minute and made the catch. But that high fastball is going to be one that Trevor's going to have to really, really work on. What kind of swing hits that ball up there, or else give into it and say, I'm not going to swing it that way. I'm going to make the ball be down where it's a little bit easier.
Well, he swung at one last night with pretty good results.
Yeah, you bet he did.
Off the glove of Ramirez, and Dozier will have a hit. He hit the stuffing out of that ball and now has 4 hits in this series. So Dozier aboard with a 1-out single. That'll bring up Mastroianni. Getting back to Dozier and his struggles, and we talked about it before, a young player struggling at this level for the first time. And we saw maybe Danny Valencia going through that earlier, and he never was able to fight his way through it, found himself demoted to AAA. The preferred remedy is to figure it out up here. And then the next time you go through it, you have a reference point. Well, I remember that slump in May or June of 2012, and here's how I got through it. I stayed with this, I did this differently, whatever. So to the extent Dozier is on the verge of breaking out of this, it should make him a better player in the long run.
There's no question about it, and it's even less about the specific things you did physically to get out of it, and more just understanding that this too will pass.
Slow breaking ball gets a swing and a miss.
That's the hardest thing for a young guy to assimilate in his own mind is that every at bat or every streak of bad at bats, you know, they're important, but they're not crucial. They're not critical. You'll get over it. You'll find your swing. You'll start getting hits. It will pass. And when you're going through it as a young guy, you think, am I ever going to get out of this? And can I really play up here? Is this the way it's going to be for me, where I'm a good minor league player but not a big league player? And you got to get through that. And what you understand later on is that this will not be the last time that he's in a slump, and it won't be the last time when he's played in the league 10 years that he has been.
1-2 to Mastroianni. Swing and a miss, and a strikeout for out number 2. And Carroll coming to the plate with the Vikings minicamp approaching next week. How's the first round pick Harrison Smith fitting in at safety? Read Brian Hall's story about Smith's chances to win a starting spot at FoxSportsNorth.com. Well, all of what you said is all well and good, but central to the remedy, I would think, is the commitment that the manager has to keep pushing you out there.
No question. No question. I think we've seen that with Trevor Plouffe and what the results can be. And the same will be for Brian Dozier. There has to be a willingness on the part of both the player and the manager to fight through the down times that are going to happen with young players.
Carroll 0 for 2, comebacker to the mound and a strikeout. Over the inside corner. And Dozier dives back.
We saw Drew Butera do that last night. I like catchers that like to throw. They aren't afraid to go after runners if they look like they're taking too many liberties on the bases.
And really, when you think of it, particularly with a right-handed batter up, that's just a 90-foot game of catch. You fire a throw to first every once in a while. I mean, it's an easy throw. There's little danger, you would think, of a throwing error or anything like that. It just gives the runner something else to think about.
Absolutely right. And you know, a big league catcher ought to be able to throw it 90 feet without throwing it down the right field line. But you just don't see it an awful lot. And I think the catchers that do that, it's really beneficial.
Dozier goes, and he's in with an easy steal of second. So stolen base. Twins down by 5, but they've had so little opportunity to score, so few men in scoring position. Twins felt they could get Dozier there and succeeded. 2-2 now to Carroll.
We were talking about Fire's bigger leg kick, and you really ought to be able to take that base on him if you get any kind of reasonable jump when he picks up his front leg up high like that. It really should not be that big a gamble. So that's a good play, especially, again, even down 5 runs with 2 out. See if you can steal a run here and keep the inning going.
And Carroll strikes out. The Twins leave Dozier at second, and we head to the 8th with the Brewers up 6-1.
Brewers over the Twins, and the Coors Light cold hard blast. Brewers shortstop Ransom hits a bomb off the facing of the second deck. Cody Ransom, very strong looking young player, and that's a Coors Light cold hard blast.
Jeff Manship comes out of the Twins' pen to pitch to the Brewers in the 8th. A couple innings for Anthony Swarzak. Gave up a first pitch home run, didn't give up a run after that. And now Manship, who is another candidate to be moved into the rotation next week. and he'll face Ransom, who was the first guy Swarzak faced.
You know, Dick, it may be, though, that the Twins staff has just not had a chance to stretch out anyone out of that bullpen in order to get them a start. No, there's not really anybody that, other than Swarzak, who in recent memory has gone more than 2 or 3 innings, and that's why I'm thinking Cole DeVries or somebody is probably a better candidate. It's not going to be Brian Dunsing either. So we talked about leaving Dunsing in the bullpen and using somebody else. One of the reasons why you might do that is he hasn't had the opportunity to be stretched out at all, nor has Manship, and nor really has Swarzak very much.
You know, you look at the transaction wire, and more these days, you see pitchers being called up from Double-A to fill a spot in the rotation. That's how thin pitching is, healthy pitching is right now in the major leagues. So while Cole DeVries might be the logical choice, especially after pitching well last night, Twins would not be the first team to go down to Double-A and call someone up if there's someone down there they think would give them a better chance. 2-1.
Ransom doesn't think he's gotten a strike yet. It's 2-2, and Ransom doesn't think he's gotten a strike yet.
Well, he's still looking for that belt-high fastball that Swarzak gave him in the first pitch of the 6th inning.
Yep.
Now 3-2. Talked about this, I think, last night. There's an old saying in baseball: you can never have too much pitching. And boy, 2012 has been a perfect example of that. There's a reason draft picks 1 year very often now make their major league debuts the very next season. And as other organizations are probably more aggressive than the Twins are in running prospects through the minor league system, with the Twins in a situation where they might have to be more aggressive that way than they would like because of the injury situation. And a walk leading off the 8th inning to Ransom. Twins will be finishing the series against the Brewers tomorrow afternoon with a Father's Day tilt. And tomorrow the first 10,000 men will get a great Twins golf head cover courtesy of 1500 ESPN. Tickets available for Sunday, so call 800-33-TWINS or go to twinsbaseball.com. Leadoff walk by Manship, and here's Martin Maldonado. The back-breaking home run by Maldonado last night, his 4th of the year. Not known as a hitter, not known for his power, and all 4 home runs have put the Brewers in front in the ballgame. Maybe never more dramatically than the one last night in the 9th inning against Matt Capps. One strike. As the Twins deal with their rotation issues, other teams deal with them. Even the first place White Sox have concerns. Gavin Floyd pitching ineffectively. John Danks, their opening day starter, had a setback yesterday. His shoulder is still sore, so he's not imminently going to come back. Philip Humber today might be pitching to keep his spot in the rotation. He's been very ineffective since his perfect game. One and 2 to Maldonado. Deflected to second. What a double play! It goes 1, 6, 4, 3. And one of the biggest double plays, most unlikely double plays you'll see all year.
And watch this deflection from behind the back that slows it down. Dozier flips out of the glove, and Jamie Carroll never gave up on the play. Watch again. Watch, he just swings wildly, happens to hit it. Dozier flips it out of his glove. Jamie barehands it. That's a good play by 3 guys.
So 2 down in the 8th inning. And a strike. We've seen pitchers go behind their back and make catches and get an out. I don't know that I've ever seen a pitcher deflected and start a double play because of the deflection. Two and one. After Manship deflected.
Watch this play that Dozier makes out of the glove. Perfect up to Jamie Carroll, chest high so he can see it. It's behind him a little bit, but Jamie grabs it with his bare hand and has plenty of time to turn and throw. I like the fact that the middle infielders never gave up on the play. They were after it right from the start. Well, it looked like it should have been a line drive through the box into center field, but Dozier kept going after it. The deflection allowed him to get to it, and Jamie Carroll kept going to the bag.
Full count to Aoki. Almost got hit by the pitch, but pushed it foul. That's down the left field line, and that'll twist into the seats as well. Twins in danger of having another losing homestand here based on the 3 straight losses and being behind in this game, yet the fan support has been incredible. A lot of Brewer fans here this weekend. That's okay. Bounced to short. And Dozier slings it across. And incredible double play in the middle of this top of the 8th inning. We'll see if the lineup can produce some offense in the bottom.
Gelner, and we hope that you will stay with us after the game as our coverage will continue with Twins Live presented by CenturyLink. Coming up in our show today, we'll look at the Brewers' big bats, in particular Ryan Braun with his 2 home runs and a double this afternoon, plus Post-game reaction from the manager, Ron Gardenhire, and our instructional tonight is on the squeeze play. The arts involved is the Brewers unintentionally tried to perform a squeeze play. I guess that's how we'll look at it, Roy and Dick, excuse me. Some of what goes on in a base runner's mind, also the batter trying to execute it. It's part of our instructional that we do every night here at home after the Twins game. Try to find an element in the game and explain it a little bit better after the game to help the viewers kind of get a better grasp of it. Tonight's that squeeze play, and what happened early in the game is something I'm looking forward to hearing you guys explain, especially Roy, the base runner, in an unintentional squeeze play like that.
And Marnie, I think it might have been unintentional on everybody's part but that batter that time.
Now the element of surprise is important in a squeeze play.
But you just don't want to surprise the guy on third.
1 strike to Span against a new Milwaukee pitcher, Manny Parra, in the ball game. He pitched last night in the dirt, 1-1. Now the Brewers, like so many teams, have gotten pretty good starting pitching. The problems they've had lately have involved their bullpen. We'll see if that bears out here this afternoon. 1-1 to Span. He's hitless in the series. 0 for 5 last night, 0 for 3 today. Swing and a foul. Span, Revere, and Willingham. The Twins have been stifled. First by Michael Fiers. And we'll see if they can get something going here against Parra. Parra has been one of those guys for the Brewers that has spent some time both in the rotation and out of the bullpen. Two and two.
And I think that's an indication, that pitch right there, probably why he's not starting. His inability to command the strike zone with his pitches. This young man's got a good arm, good stuff. But you have to be able to throw the ball over the plate with 2 or 3 pitches the majority of the time. You just have to be able to do that.
Around the hands, 3-2. Twins haven't hit much during this losing streak, with the exception of that first game. But they also haven't drawn many walks. I'd like to think maybe a leadoff walk here would get something going in the 8th inning. Full count to Span, then Revere, then Willingham. And Joe Mauer not in the lineup today with a tight hamstring. Doesn't mean he might not be able to pinch hit. And he missed inside. Span gets his leadoff walk. It'll be a special day of baseball at Target Field Monday when the Prep Championship Series is played here for the 3rd straight year. 3 high school state championship games beginning at noon. Next one at 3, next one at 6. Tickets are $10 for adults, $7 for kids. It can be purchased at Target Field on Monday. Come on out and see the 2012 Prep Championship baseball games at Target Field. Ben Revere with Span at first. Down and away, ball 1.
I will just tell you that there's nothing that will make a manager start tearing at his hair quicker than bringing in a left-hander to pitch to left-hand hitters to start the bottom of the 8th in a visit when you're at somebody else's home park, and the left-hander walking the first left-handed hitter that he sees to open the inning.
A little dribbler, and it's going to be a tough play. Revere wins the foot race. So a walk, a little scratch single. Twins maybe with Piranha Ball can get back in the game.
A little number that's perfectly placed. He couldn't have laid down a bunt better in that spot right there. That's where Ben Revere would like to bunt the ball if he drags it. Well, he'll take a 2-hopper at the first baseman right there, too, because there's nobody going to beat Ben Revere to the bag from that spot.
Well, the Twins need a big fly from Josh Willingham here.
Yeah, let's just call it what it is, right? That's just what they need.
A 3-run home run. Don't need a single, don't need a walk. They need Willingham to hammer one into the seats. Maybe he will on the 1-0 pitch.
That's a great advantage as a hitter. You haven't seen a guy for a while. You're new pitcher comes in, left-hander, you get up there, he shows you his fastball. You really want to see a fastball. He shows it to you, and it's a ball. Now you can get a little bit more aggressive, and you've already seen it.
Checked his swing, 2-0.
More aggressive. Two and 0, 3-1 hitters counts. The old time guys, Billy Williams. We were talking to the Sarge. Gary Matthews was here with the Phillies broadcast team, talking about some of the great old hitters, the guys that we've been exposed to as younger players. Billy Williams with the Cubs, a great Hall of Famer, used to tell Gary Matthews when he got in these counts, 2-0, 3-1, don't be late. That meant get the big end of the bat out in front, hit it to your pull field. You got a free pitch coming in.
For the inside corner, and Willingham took it.
Now I got to believe Josh is looking for something up and out over the plate. There's a ball right on the inside corner. I think the fact that it was down where it was, Josh wanted something up a little bit higher, a little bit more out over the plate, which you can afford to do when you're 2-0. Get real fine.
3-1. Morneau on deck.
Now we're back to it again. He's 3-1. 2-1 pitch. Good take there. The ball's down and in. Now he's back to 3-1. Get the pitch you want. Don't be late.
Willingham whistles it into left field. Span will score. Revere to second. And Willingham kept in the ballpark, but he lines a sharp single to left. Still nobody out at 6-2.
Okay, you can see the pitches before this last one all down and in. Josh didn't want it down there. He wanted it up there in the middle of the plate. That's what he was waiting on, and that's 2-0 and 3-1. You get real selective. Get the ball right there where you want it. He just squared it up a little too much, and so he wasn't late. He got the big end of the bat out there, but he got it too squarely. He didn't get underneath it just enough to get it in the seats. But that's a good at bat right there by Josh Willingham. Gave himself a chance. Got the big end of the bat on the ball. And you'll see it right here. He got the big end of the bat extended and on the ball going towards pull field, which is where he wants to hit the ball out of the ballpark. Good extension. Just centered it up just a little too much. That ball could very easily have been in the seats. That's a quarter of an inch down more on the baseball. And that's in the seats.
Now Morneau didn't play last night. He struck out twice and lined out to Weeks so far today in his return to the lineup. Had a forearm strain. And he takes ball one. Morneau's been in kind of that trap where he's been behind in the count so much, either through taking or swinging. Now he takes ball one. Swings through the breaking ball. Milwaukee not doing well with men in scoring position, but when you've hit 4 solo home runs, it can make up for that. Bouncer to second. Could be a double play. 1, 2 as the Brewers turn it deftly. Weeks just shoveling the ball to the shortstop Ransom, and Morneau continues his struggles against lefties.
That was a slick little play by Ricky Weeks. You see him here just shovel it. Doesn't take the time to get it in his hand. It's a little bit of a dangerous play, but it's a slick play. As long as you have control. Ricky's a good defensive player. He kind of walks that ball over to Cody Ransom and makes a nice turn.
And now Doman is a right-handed batter. Trying to pick up Revere at third base. Strike one.
If you mentioned the 4 solo home runs, you don't need to hit men in scoring position. Oscar reminded me about my teammate with the Yankees, Oscar Gamble. we were talking about hitting with runners in scoring position. He said, man, I'm in scoring position when I walk to the dish.
Nice block by Maldonado. Well, he had a walk and a pair of singles to start the inning. The Twins have 1 run, but they're still down by 4. They need to get Revere in from third. They're running out of outs.
There's the way to do it. Young catchers there. Get to your knees. Take the ball in the chest protector where it will be killed right down in front of you. Good play by Maldonado there.
Way out in front. 1-2. Doman's actually hit the ball hard twice as a left-handed batter today. And pounded behind Steve Little. Hit here by Doman would A, get Plouffe to the plate. It would also probably get a different pitcher into the ball game. Popped up, back, and out of play.
Yeah, they get this run in here. It actually is a big run. It gets Plouffe to the plate. It gets the tying run to the on-deck circle, which you're always trying to do.
One and two to the Twins catcher. To left center field and deep. Morgan going back. And on the track, he hauls it in. Got it a little bit out on the end of the bat. And the Twins get just 1 in the 8th. Chevelle. That sounds to me like that might have been your first car.
I wish I'd have given anything to have a Chevelle be my first car.
Brewers leading 6-2. We go to the 9th inning. Mine was a Chevy Bel Air, 1962.
Nice. Nice. Mine was a 1963 Falcon Ranchero.
Really? Was that the thing, like the pickup bed thing?
The Ford version of the El Camino.
Yeah.
Which, yep. 289 engine, 4 on the floor. I thought it went really fast, but it didn't.
There's Nyjer Morgan facing Jet Manship, and there's a fastball, strike 1. Morgan with a couple of outfield flies and 2 strikeouts. It's been so bad for Morgan this year. The Brewers in the last homestand had a Nyjer Morgan bobblehead day, and he didn't even get to play. Now, if they're going to have a bobblehead day for you, if you're a retired player, you ought to be in attendance. And if you're a current player, you should be in the lineup, don't you think?
I absolutely agree with that.
2-1.
Hard to bobble your head from the bench.
Morgan, Braun, and Ramirez facing Manship here in the Brewer ninth. High fly to right. Revere hardly has to move. And our Jimmy John's delivery of the game, Ryan Braun, who maybe on just 3 swings has absolutely creamed the ball 3 times.
Well, he's got a great swing. He's a strong man. The bat zips through the zone, and he's gotten some pitches to hit. He's gone everywhere in this ball yard. He's gone in the Twins bullpen. He's gone over the center field fence, and he's gone way up over the right center field wall, scoreboard wall. This man is fun to watch. I really enjoy watching him play baseball.
There was at least one other swing prior to this. Remember the foul pop down the line. Carroll dropped it, was charged with an error. Then on the very next pitch, Braun hit his second home run in the 5th inning. Brewer fans don't like that. Twins fans have a little something to cheer about. Braun's been hit 6 times. And the Brewers have been hit 40 times. They've only hit 14 batters. Dozier backhands. Makes a great play, and he made it look easy.
Brian Dozier has a sneaky strong arm. He never really looks like he's expending a lot of effort throwing the ball. But the ball's got a lot of zip on it from funny body position. Watch this as he goes to his knees. He barely gets up off of his knees. Throws quickly and gets a surprising amount on the ball. Watch. We didn't see the rest of that play, but he didn't really plant that hard on that back foot and got a lot on the throw. Sneaky strong arm.
2 down, Ramirez. So many base runners now use the head first slide. You rarely see the pop-up slide into second or third. Dozier has got that pop-up slide going for him in the hole. It's the 3rd or 4th time we've seen him do that. 1-2.
And we've seen him slide and pop up and throw. We've seen him jump up in the air and throw.
Yeah, saw that last night.
Yep.
Popped up. Might be playable. Domit, Morneau. Domit with the call and the catch. And a 1-2-3 top of the 9th for Jeff Manship. And he faced just 6 men over 2 innings of relief.
TV, since Pony Ball, which I was 9 years old. We first started playing together. It's got to see him play in high school. He was great in high school. Then when he went off to college, he was great in college. We got drafted around the same time, and we had the same agent, so we've been working out together. He's been a mentor of mine, a good friend of mine, and I've learned a lot from him.
And Ryan Braun also with a link to Danny Valencia, the former Twins third baseman. They were college roommates, and now Plouffe, by all appearances, has third base locked down for at least a little while. When you hit 7 home runs in 7 games, you're going to be in the lineup, and he's handled things pretty well at third base too.
He has done that, and if the Twins and manager Ron Gardenhire were going to stay with him last year and into this year because of that potential that they saw, even though he was struggling at the plate, boy, you got to. This has earned him a bit of an exemption for a while, I would say.
This is why you waded through the struggles with Plouffe before to hope to get to this point. Jose Veras comes out of the Milwaukee pen to pitch to the Twins in the 9th. And Plouffe will be waiting for him in the box.
Yeah, it's a real testimony to the Twins that they saw this talent from Trevor Hayden in there that would show up every once in a while, and hard work with Trevor and hitting coach Joe Vavra starting to really, really pay off.
Inside ball 1. Over the years, I've seen players like Plouffe struggle when they get up here, and they're back and forth to the minors. They're in and out of the lineup. David McCarty, Todd Walker, and they end up, to the extent they find it, they end up finding it in another organization. And maybe we'll never know, thankfully, how close the Twins were to letting Trevor Plouffe experience a change of scenery and see if he could find it someplace else. Out of options, he had to stay with the big league club out of spring training. 2-0. And a strike, 2-1. Plouffe has been patient today. He has taken 2 walks in his 7th inning at bat, got the count to 3-1, and just missed a pitch, hitting a fly ball to left. Now it's 2-1, 2-1. Three and 1. Edwin Masonette in for Ransom and short. Ransom over to third. Ramirez out of the game. 3-1 to the leadoff man here in the 9th. And Plouffe draws his 3rd walk of the ballgame.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Minnesota Twins and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Minnesota Twins, LLC.
Well, the Twins get a leadoff walk for the 2nd inning in a row. Brian Dozier with a single in 3 trips, 4 singles in the series. Strike 1 to Dozier. A couple of nifty plays in the field, and you can say all you want about players separating their at-bats from their half innings in the field. It naturally follows you're probably going to do better at one when you're excelling at the other, and now Dozier gets a few hits. Not to say he couldn't make the plays he's made in the field when he was not getting hits, but you just feel better about yourself and you end up making better plays.
There's no question that that's the case. One of the hardest things to do, especially at shortstop, is to separate the two, but you have to do that.
Check swing, 1 and 2.
And I say especially at shortstop because you're in so many of the plays, and the only other position that's like that is catcher, where you have to keep your head in the game for your pitcher and for your teammates. You have to be in your pitcher's head. You have to be working as hard as the pitcher is at getting the opposing hitters out. You just don't have time to be self-indulgent about how you're swinging the bat. Shortstops like that as well.
Breaking ball lifted behind first. Green in foul territory makes the catch.
I actually think that Brian Dozier has done a terrific job of keeping his head on relatively straight, his emotions in check. And, you know, I mean, who knows whether the errors that he made were a result of the struggles at the plate or not. Sometimes you just go through streaks where you're not feeling as well as others, and you can make those when you're swinging well too. But I think that young man has done a real good job when you consider he hadn't played a whole lot of AAA baseball. He's another one of those guys that their longest stop in the minor leagues was AA before coming up here.
Inside to Mastroianni, ball 1. Oh. A little low, I guess.
Yeah, that's the inconsistency. We've seen that pitch right there at the bottom of the Fox Tracks zone being called at both a strike and a ball all day today.
Barring a double play, it looks like Joe Mauer will make a pinch hitting appearance. And now it's 3-0. John Axford's warming up out in the bullpen. If Mastroianni reaches, this becomes a save opportunity for a new relief pitcher. Three and 1. 13 pitches for Veras, only 5 strikes.
Subsequently, Mastroianni might be given the take sign right here. Make him throw 3 strikes in a row to prevent Mauer from getting up. Yep, he's taken. That's questionable.
Full count now.
But the bet is that with 3-1, whatever pitch you're going to get 3-1, you're going to get 3-2. So that wasn't a pitch 3-1. He would have swung it anyway. Not a bad idea for Ron Gardenhire to have him take there, make him throw 3 strikes in a row, because you're going to get another fastball here.
Driven to left field. Very high. Very deep. Foul.
Oh.
He nearly got his first major league home run, and he hit it a ton. Oh, it couldn't have been foul by much.
Well, we talked about short and quick and simple, the swing of Mastroianni, and here it is. Great example of that. Just big end to the ball as quickly as you can get it, and it's the bat speed that drives the ball, and it's just foul, just left of the foul pole. He's even blowing on Mastroianni said, man, why couldn't that have been fair?
Now, Ron Gardenhire coming out, they may ask for an appeal here.
Yep.
That's how close it was. Brian Gorman, who was spot on behind the plate last night, one of the better games we've had behind the plate. And so the Twins have nothing to lose here, and they may as well look at it. Ultimately, Gorman will decide whether they will review it or not, but this is a no-brainer. Why not? You may as well take a quick look at it, and the important thing, underscore it, get it right.
Absolutely. The get it right phrase should be the mantra of umpires everywhere.
Now, Ron Gardenhire just went down out of the dugout and to a position where he might be able to see the replays. And even if the game finishes 6-4, you hope for Mastroianni that it's overruled and it's called a home run.
Right.
Now there needs to be overwhelming evidence, very top of your screen, and well, it's at least on my monitor here. It's
well, if you see at the very top, you can't really tell where it passes. It's clear that when it gets down there, it's foul, but you can't really tell where it passes the foul pole.
Right. There's always a hook.
Yep, and it was higher than our camera angle there, so you don't really know. I hope they have a couple of looks that are a little bit higher up on the pole than that. That's a lot closer. When I looked at it there, that's a lot closer than I originally thought. It's a good call by Gardy to get him to review it.
And again, unless there's clear, overwhelming evidence that the play as called on the field is incorrect, they can't overturn it.
Right. Right. It's going to have to. They're going to have an angle where they see the ball clearly go over the top of the flagpole.
Now they are not limited to our views here. They are in communication in New York to Baseball Central, we'll call it, and they have angles that we don't have, presumably, and they'll be able to determine long distance whether that was a fair ball or not. Foul ball. And again, the ball could very well have been fair, but unless there's a replay that shows it fair, the play has to be ruled as called. So 3-2 to Mastroeni, and he's got to be disciplined here and make sure that he swings only at a strike.
He's going to get another fastball. He's going to come in there again.
Breaking ball, caught him looking.
He got me too. I'd take it. I've been walking back to the bench too, and I got to tell you, if you throw a breaking ball right there and don't throw it for a strike with Mauer coming up, it wasn't even a strike. That's what I'm talking about. If the umpire calls that correctly, that's the dumbest pitch in the world. I mean, you can't walk the guy to get to Joe Mauer with your second best pitch, 3-2. I mean, you just can't do it.
Well, here's Mauer, last hope for the Twins. Plouffe goes. The Brewers don't care. Defensive indifference, allowing him to get second base. And strike one to Mauer. That was pretty much the same pitch that struck out Mastroeni, this time on the outside corner or near it, and has called the ball.
Just a little lower, that pitch, than the other one. That's the only difference. I bet it's in the same spot off the plate.
Grounded to the second baseman. Backhanded by Weeks, and the Brewers come to Minnesota and win the first two. Well, the Brewers hit 4 solo home runs. Not only were they the difference in this game, but a total of $64,000 was raised for prostate cancer research. To make a donation, you can call 800-798-CURE or go online to www.pcf.org. Well, Kevin Gordon, when the Twins were in Milwaukee, they won the first 2 ball games, and then the home team won the third game. And unfortunately for the Twins, that's the best they can hope for out of this series.
That's right, Dick. We'll preview tomorrow's matchup. We'll go through the game today where the Brewers bats were alive and well. Some fires were extinguished. We'll hear from Gardy, and our instructional will teach